In this session, we will talking about the very good concept and the implication of our literature, Indian literature, that is the Bhagavad Gita, and the interpersonal dynamics. That is the how the Bhagavad Gita that emphasize on interpersonal dynamics. There is introduction, influence of the Bhagavad Gita, case study, critical questions to all managers, knowledge of the self and interpersonal relations, and the lessons from the Bhagavad Gita. So, the Bhagavad Gita is an ancient Indian text that become an important work of Hindu tradition in terms of the both literature and the philosophy. All of us know that. That is the right from our childhood we learn, that is the we have to understand the messages given in the Bhagavad Gita, and then we have to implement in our lives, so that we are becoming we try to be becoming a perfect person. The name Bhagavad Gita means the song of the Lord, and it is composed as a poem, and it contains many key topics related to the Indian intellectual and spiritual tradition is there. So, in this particular book we will find there is a lot of, because we see that we have to also understand the Indian context. Whenever we are talking about the interpersonal relationship, then in interpersonal dynamics it is becoming very important, that is the what is your culture. The culture plays a very important role. So, when we talk about that is the karma, karma is becoming our culture. Karma means that is the work we do, and therefore work is worship. A very old say is there that work is worship, and therefore this literature also directs us, that is towards the work, and it is the also in a beautiful way that teaches us about the intellectual and the spiritual tradition. So, in intellectual tradition it talks about that is the we are the fighters, we are fighting with the different situations in life, and then overcoming this particular, and we are becoming the winner. To become the winner, it becomes important that is we understand to use our intellectual ability, and that intellectual ability, how to make the best use of our intellectual ability, and that is directed by the Bhagavad Gita. And therefore, in that case, one side we learn that is to fight, and the other side we learn that is the how this particular fighting which is leading us towards the success and the goal, the purpose, the mission of life, and that is the spirituality. So, whenever we are talking about the combination of these intellectual ability with the spirituality, so one side we talk about the practical aspects, and the other side we talk about the spiritual aspects, and the life is complete. Life is complete when we are making the combo of both, combo of the intellectual and the spiritual ability. So, when we are making the combo of the intellectual and spiritual maturity, spiritual ability, then definitely in that case we sung the song of the Lord. Although it is normally edited as an independent text, the Bhagavad Gita become a section of a massive Indian epic named the Mahabharata. The longest Indian epic is there, and therefore in that case however it itself is a book. Bhagavad Gita itself is a message. Bhagavad Gita itself is a lifestyle. Bhagavad Gita itself is a spiritual completeness. But in addition to this, the Bhagavad Gita is also the part of one epic, that is the Mahabharata epic, which is the longest Indian epic is there. So, as far as the authorship and origin is concerned, it was written at some point between 400 BC and 200 CE. Like the Vedas and Upanishads, the authorship of the Bhagavad Gita is unclear. However, the credit for this text is traditionally given to Vyas, who is more of a legend than an actual historical figure. And therefore, in that case, when we talk about that is the who has written the Bhagavad Gita, so the Bhagavad Gita is given, the credit is given to the Vyas Muni. And in the Vyas Muni, he talks about that is the each and every the moment of the direction given by the Shri Krishna to the Arjun, and therefore it is the more of a legend than an actual a historical figure Vyas Muni, because it is giving you the complete and perfect directions. The theme, plot and setting is there. How can someone live a life spiritually meaningful? This is becoming very, very important. So, therefore, when we talk about that is the how it is going to be help, then that is becoming that is the meaningful. And in meaningful, when we talk about the life, that is the meaningful of life. So, what is the meaning of life? That becoming that we understand. For what purpose we are living, that we understand. What is the life itself, that we understand. And in this understanding, that is the how we are becoming the part of the society. What is a society? How it deals with, and therefore in that case we will talk about that is the how in this particular part of the Bhagavad Gita we understand the meaning and the purpose of life. The message on this particular Bhagavad Gita is: one believes he is the slayer, another believes he is the slain. Both are ignorant. There is neither slayer nor slain. So, therefore, that is the message is there. So, it becomes very, very important. That is the in the message we understand that is that remaining this stable, and that stability and understanding that is affecting this particular the concept of the spirituality. Now I will like to talk about the influence of the Bhagavad Gita. The university wanted a transformational course that will influence the character and the life of the students. Now you see these affects a lot. This affects a lot the reader and the person who understands the Gita, and then definitely there is a change. There is a total transformation of the character and the life of the students, and therefore this change and transformation of the character and the life of the students, that is making the Bhagavad Gita more and more the practical direction towards the one's decision making style also. Bhagavad Gita has become compulsory for every student joining, that is a Seton Hall University in New Jersey, USA, and this is becoming the part of study, and it has been taken as a guide towards the direction of development of personality, the decision making, the stress management, and therefore success in life. First atomic bomb test in New Mexico. When physicist Robert Oppenheimer watched the massive explosion, he claimed that a verse from Gita came to his mind, and therefore he said that is the it has come in his mind, that is the what the Gita says about. The institute has incorporated Bhagavad Gita in one of its courses as a means of providing spiritual guidance in the corporate battlefield. Now, the industries, that is how the industries are getting this concept of Bhagavad Gita as a lesson. The chairperson at Pyramid Enterprise said that her group has for many years been following the values of Gita, that is the knowledge, and action, and the care. So, therefore, Jan, Karma and Bhakti. So, therefore, here you will find that is the now when we relate it with the management. When we relate it with the management, we find that is the like the Sri Krishna when says to Arjuna, Jnaname eva Shakti. Knowledge is power, because with the period of time, the post will come, post will go, money will come, money will go, status will come, status will go. But what will remain with an individual with the aging also, right, that will remain is his knowledge. So one's knowledge will be always remain with oneself. Only when he will depart from this earth, that time that particular knowledge which he has stored, that will go along with him. So therefore in that case, it is in the Gita also, it has been said that is the when you are contributing in the society, when you are behaving in the society, when your action shows the level of the knowledge you have. So if you have the high order level of knowledge, so high order level of knowledge, that will direct you to behave in that way. But when you are ignorant, so your action will explain itself, that is the one person is ignorant, and therefore in that it is becoming very, very important, that is the we have to get the knowledge. But this particular knowledge, that it is very important, from where do you get? What is your source of knowledge? And if your source of knowledge is a very high level, then definitely the transformation of knowledge, that will be also at the same level. But only transform of knowledge is not enough. That is how do you use that knowledge? Because unless and until you are not able to use that knowledge, then it is just an information. And when you use that knowledge, it becomes wisdom, and the wisdom becomes the truth. This is the pyramid. So data into information, information into knowledge, knowledge into wisdom, wisdom into truth. So therefore that is the first and foremost values, that is the knowledge is there. And knowledge when you use, you are making the action or karma, and from karma you learn, and then when you learn you contribute, and when you contribute you build and sustain. So therefore your sustainability is basis of your sustainability is your knowledge. So high level of knowledge, then there will be high level of sustainability is there. And when you are sustainable, then definitely you divest that knowledge to the others and contribute to the society. So therefore in that case, get, use, learn, contribute, build and sustain, and assessment is important, that whether the knowledge in the current situation is applicable or not, and then you are divest. And therefore in that case, when we talk about from karma to bhakti, so therefore the actions towards the commitment towards the ownership is towards the citizenship that will bring the behavior. So therefore in that case, it is becoming a very, very important, that is in the Gita also we come to know from the knowledge, action and care, that is the jnana, karma and bhakti. India's largest automaker regularly used to conduct training sessions for the leaders in self-management and the time management, which we also learn from this particular message from the Gita. SBI, at India's largest bank, it is the managers of the SME that require motivation, and so the bank has started a course for them based on the principles of Gita, and therefore you will find that self-confidence, that generating the self-confidence in the challenging situations, right, that is a Gita. So in the Gita, when you are talking about those people, those who want to grow, so when they are at the growing stage, so there will be lot of challenges. Facing these challenges, right, and taking the support of the principles of Gita, right, you go towards the success. So therefore State Bank of India is using like this. Now here I would like to take a particular case study. In this case study, the average life expectancy of the Fortune 500 companies is expected to be the 40 to 50 years. And 1/3 of the companies listed in Fortune 500 in 1970 vanished in 20 years. So therefore in that case, when the expected life is to be the 40 to 50 years, however, the list in these Fortune 500 companies, in 1970 vanished in 20 years. By 2006, 40% of new companies listed lasted less than the 10 years. So therefore, if we see, that is the life cycle of the companies. So average life expectancy is expected to be the 40 to 50 years, but it is gone down to the 20 years, and from 20 years it is again gone down to 10 years. Why? Question arises, that is why they are not sustainable, and therefore in that case the question to all managers is how to be effective in the job and relationships. So therefore in that case, if you want to be the effective at your job and then in your relationship, so it requires an approach, and that approach and guidance that has been directed by the in the Bhagavad Gita, that is the how it is. And this particular question which is in the minds of the managers, that is the how to be effective in job and relationships, and this is answered in the Gita, that you must try to manage yourself. Self management. चंचल ही मन कृष्ण प्रमादी बलवद्दम तस्याहम निग्रहम मन्ने वायोरिव सुदुष्करम. It means that mind is very restless. So therefore, if you want to focus and concentrate on mind, then definitely you have to learn how to concentrate and the focus. When you are able to increase your concentration, then definitely in that case you will be able to control your chanchal man. Chanchal man means the mind which is the diverting it in so many places. So when you control your mind, that is becoming the success. So ultimately it is a forceful and strong. So it will be becoming the, that when mind is becoming restless, going this direction, that direction, not focusing, then in it requires to the one direction, and that direction is becoming, making him the more forceful and the strong. Oh Krishna, it is more difficult to control the mind than to control the wind. That is the Arjuna asked to Sri Krishna. That Arjuna asked to Sri Krishna, that is, either to control the mind is the difficult to control the mind than to control the wind. Once I will be able to control the wind, in spite of the is very high velocity, right? But it is becoming very difficult for me to control my mind, and therefore in that case, how I can control my mind? My mind is restless, it is not having the direction, it is not focused, it is sometimes it is here and sometimes it is in the other side, other direction. I am not sure that which direction I should follow. So show me the path, and whatever path you will show, that I will follow. But Lord Krishna, let me know what is the right path is there. I am unable to decide that which side I am supposed to go, where to go, how to go, and therefore in that case, please, though I can control the wind, I have the high commitment, but I do not know the direction. So it is a commitment without a direction. So it is a vehicle without a driver. So therefore in that case, Lord Krishna, show me the path. Then that what the Arjuna asked him. And here it is yoga karmapsu koshalam samatvam yoga ujjanite. Excellence at work through self-development with devotion and without attachment. This is becoming a very, very, very important message. The managers who are asking the questions that how to develop the effectiveness at the job and relationship, and the answer is one only, and that answer is, that is the self-development with devotion. One should give 100% his commitment to his work. There is no diversion. Mind is not restless and directionless. Mind is focused. Mind wants to give the 100%, and that 100% that will give this through, that is called the devotion. So when we talk about the bhakti mark, the path of bhakti, it shows that is you are 100% is the devotee, and therefore in that case it is the whatever I do, every karma of mine, every work of mine, I surrender to the God. And therefore in that case it becomes very, very important. That is the what level of devotion do you have at your workplace. So your punctuality, your commitment, your involvement, your vigor, your absorption, your dedication, all these will create the devotion towards your work. It is not to the boss, it is not to the organization, it is not even to yourself, but it is towards your duty. Devotion to the duty, that should be the criteria. It is not for others, it is not for self, it is for the nature. So therefore in that case it becomes very, very important, that is we go through with the self development and devotion. If we are having the excellence at work, beautifully has been mentioned, that is the excellence at work, kaushalam, the karmasu kaushalam. So karmasu kaushalam, that is the excellence at work with the self development and devotion, right? But interestingly, one very, very alarming word has been used, and that has been used, samatva yog ujjayate, without attachment. So therefore your 100% devotion, your 100% karma, whatever you are doing, whatever you have surrendered with the bhakti yoga, right, all is towards the God. But what for? With no attachment, with no, it is no ROI, there is no ROI, no return on investment. And that is because for a normal person, whatever his calculations are there, that is, if I have invested, whether the money or emotions, then I expect the return on investment, and that return on investment if is not there, then there is a frustration, there is a stress, there is a disappointment, because the person for whom I was so much devoted, I was so much committed, and in return what I got? Nothing. I pray to God morning and evening and afternoon. What the God has given me, He has not made me millionaire, so no return. If I do this so much bhakti, at least I should be the millionaire. So therefore in that case it becomes very, very important, that is the condition of excellence. Yes, you will be excellent, you will achieve the excellence at your work if you are giving the 100% devotion, but without any attachment. So therefore in this case the knowledge of the self and interpersonal relations, the lessons from Bhagwat Gita is, you have always every right to carry on your work, but absolutely no right to get attached to the fruits of your karma. So you do your karma, but don't bargain, don't negotiate that this much karma, so this much will be the fruits. No. Then what? Practicing this particular skill in every step of karmas, karma yoga accordingly to Gita, otherwise karma will turn into ordinary grade. So when you are expecting, that is if this much is the investment is there, and then on basis of this much investment of my karma, this much investment on my devotion. So therefore in that case this much will be the return. If it is so, then karma will turn into ordinary grade. No, then you cannot expect that is the you will be making the job satisfaction, work satisfaction and dynamics in the interpersonal relationship. No, you are in ordinary grade, and in the ordinary grade the things will come, things will go. There is no peace, there is no satisfaction, there is no love, there is no sacrifice. So therefore in that case the knowledge of the Gita and interpersonal relation talks about that is the achieve the excellence, 100 give the 100% devotion, but dear friends, don't expect return on that. It will automatically. Does it mean that we will not get the fruits from the karma? No, message should not be misunderstood. Message is you with the intentions are to be very clear. Intentions are not to be on the ROI. Intentions are very honest and clear. It is I want to serve others, that's why I am serving others. It's a servant leadership style. So therefore I am doing this, but not in the expectation. Against this I am not having any expectation that is the other should also recognize my services and return to me. So therefore in that case this becomes very important. The another answer given by this in the Bhagavad Gita lesson we learn that is Atmano Mokshaya Jagat Hilayatsa. So perfection in individual life and welfare of the world, Shri Krishna said fear, anxiety and weaknesses are the main causes of suffering in life. So therefore in that case that is the human beings are the full of the weaknesses also, and these weaknesses are the fear, there is anxiety, and therefore as a result of which there is a suffering in the lifestyle, because we are surviving with fear, we are surviving with anxiety. Oh, don't know what will happen tomorrow, and therefore in that case I am not enjoying my life, I am not living in today. But through the knowledge of Atma, soul, these feelings can be overcome and one can lead a virtuous life. And therefore, when we talk about the service to humanity, in the service to humanity, there should be no difference between the secular and the sacred. So therefore, what is important is this, that is the live without fear and without anxiety. When you are living there without fear and without anxiety, you are enjoying your life, you are doing your duty, you are devoted to your karma and you will achieve the excellence. So therefore in that case it becomes very important, that is the how one can achieve this particular success, excellence in his life. Does this mean having nothing to do with the family? As for detachment from children, wife and home, it does not mean that one should have no feeling for these. They are natural objects of affection, but when they are not favorable to spiritual progress, then one should not be attached to them. So, but you should be have the attachment, but attachment at what cost? Not at the cost of spirituality. Your spirituality should not get down. It should raise day by day, it should go up. The best process for gaining spiritual progress is Krishna consciousness, your consciousness. If one can mold his family life in this way to develop Krishna's consciousness, then there is no need to change from family life to the renounced life. But if it is not congenial nor favorable for spiritual advancement, then family life should be abandoned. Dear friends, we have to understand that is the roots with the family relation also, that is the spirituality. Because this is the devotion, this is a karma, this is a service to the family members on the basis of what? The instructions given by the God. God wants me to serve you, that's why I am serving you. But in that feeling of service is disappearing, it means that there is no spirituality. As soon as the spirituality goes, then there is no success, there is no efficiency, effectiveness, or there is no satisfaction, because as soon as you are bringing it to the ordinary, as I mentioned earlier, it is the ordinarily great. very ordinary grade you are coming, your thought process are bringing to very ordinary grade, then it is always a give and take in the business of that circuit, vicious circle, that is give and take, birth and rebirth and all. But when you are with the spirituality, you will go with the high success. The knowledge of the self from Bhagavad Gita and its significance for human capital development. In the last slide, what I will talk to about is, according to Arvindam Chaudhary, one of the proponents of the theory, I management or Indian management also includes the leadership. While India may claim to have some of the best management and leadership schools in the world, most Indian organizations have not been able to do well internationally. Among the reasons cited is the failure of Indian management to develop the indigenous management style, which revolves around Indian culture, roots and upbringing. As a result, it is imperative that India should focus its effort on human capital development from its own cultural perspectives. And therefore, when we talk about our own cultural perspectives, which I have taught 2-3 slides which I have discussed, especially from the Gita, and therefore in that case it talks about that is the achieve the effectiveness with the devotion, with the spirituality, and without any acceptance of that, that is the what I will do, I will get the, so no expectations are there that what I will do, so I will get the return, and without expectations of ROI, with as a my duty, as a my karma, I have to surrender my karma to my family without any return, but with the full conditions of the spirituality. And therefore in that case, whatever I done, it is done for the development of the society and humankind, and that type of the manager's approach is there, then definitely the managerial approach at the workplace, there will be no expectation from others, and when there is no expectation from others, there will be no sufferings. When there is no sufferings, there is no stress, and when there is no stress, the person will be happy. So this is all about the Bhagavad Gita and interpersonal dynamics. Thank you.